anything that you start, if you're passionate about it and you've thoroughly researched it, stay at it.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Conversational Lounge Media with your host Trudy Carlson. You're watching the most inspirational network in town, where we mentor, connect, and inspire others through real life stories. And today's guest is no exception to that. I cannot wait to introduce Marquas and have him walk us through his journey, his passions. So without further ado, please help me welcome Marquas.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So can you please walk us through a little bit about your journey, and also tell us who you are for those who are watching and they don't even know who Marquas is?
Sure. A lot of people watching probably started out knowing me as Marquas, as a MC or an artist, however you want to look at it. But moved up to Des Moines maybe 11 years ago or something like that. It's been a while now. Went to Iowa State. Was active as an MC artist, and so I put out a mixtape because I couldn't afford to go to college, obviously, and like it did really good. I ended up connecting with moonshiners and launching a liquor line, and then I took some of the knowledge and know-how and experiences from that and spearheaded into the Center at 6 project, a black and brown business incubator on 6th Avenue corridor. And right now, those are kind of the things that I'm on a short run. We can go into detail of it.
Right. I was going to say, wow, that is just a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
Thank you.
Before we get into, the moonshine and, doing all that and not being able to afford to go to college, you said you moved to Des Moines.
Yeah.
Where did you move from?
Georgia, North Georgia. Yeah, moved up here. My mom moved us up here, me and my 2 little sisters. I went to Roosevelt High School for like 3 or 4 months, and then went to college, and so been here ever since. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to Iowa.
I know, right? It's
a foreigner welcoming.
It was definitely an adjustment at first, but I mean, Iowa, it welcomed me. Like I was able to. They especially embraced my music, which made me like fall in love with it. You know what I mean? Like they embraced my passion and my expression, and so yeah. And
then, so when did your passion for music come into play? Is it when you went to college or in high school?
No, I was an MC for years. I've been rapping since I was maybe 10, 11 years old.
Wow.
But just like freestyling, having fun. But even before that, I mean, my those influences come from my dad. He was a musician. He one of those that could pick up any instrument and play it types. And so there was always music in the house. And so hip hop caught a hold of me. I started out battle rapping, actually, just like battle rapping for Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Then we got to like anything that we could, just to like, I don't know. But now I've always loved hip hop, being able to express myself that way. And it's the purest art form, I feel like, because it has the opportunity to be the most honest. So.
Wow. Okay, so I think you're the first musician that I'm actually getting to interview on my channel.
Oh, word. Okay.
So I'm going to really pick your brain here.
Yeah.
Walk me through your creative journey, and how do you get your headspace into the creating the music?
Yeah.
And then how was that journey? And walk me through, from the time you started to the time you actually released your first.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I started taking it seriously, was definitely in college, where I was like, okay, I'm not only am I really good at this, and I know I'm really good at this because I've been doing it. I need to do this now. And so when those two things crossed, and so for me it was, I spent like $400 on like studio equipment off of eBay. It was like a mic, 2 little speakers, and I had like a little tower computer, and I had a 13-inch TV that I plugged into the back of that. And so it was like, there, boom, studio. You know what I'm saying? And so I was actually just holding the mic like this in my dorm, literally just rapping into it. It was a XL 550. The mic was XL 550. And yeah, I was just be in my dorm was rapping. And so I started downloading beats from like, so let's say like a popular, like, let's say T.I. drop a song or something. I might like download the beat and freestyle over it, put like 5 or 6 of them on a CD and just try to sell them. And so I did that on a small scale a few times to the point where I was slowly able to upgrade my equipment to the point where I was able to get like these CD tower burners. And so after that is when I was like, all right, let me press up as many of these as I can. Let me put some original music on here. Let me put some hooks on it. Let me put me on it and not just me rapping on somebody else's beat, trying, you know, whatever. And it worked. It worked. And still at the time, it wasn't professional at all. Like I didn't have barcodes. I didn't have, it wasn't on the internet even. Like I literally pressed these up as CDs and it wasn't like this was like, maybe year, this is probably 2013-ish, 2012-ish, 2013-ish. And just pressed them up. It was fly because I was able to sell them just around campus. I ended up selling allegedly around 10,000 copies of it. You know what I'm saying?
Holy cow.
Yeah, slowly over that first especially the first 3 months of that first semester, it was moving because I think a lot of people just respected the hustle of it. Like I was up and down all the bars, Saz, Roos, all of them, just like I'd be in the MU, like freestyling, like whatever the case may be. And people would literally I treated it the same way where it was like, yo, if a singer or a trumpet player can stand on the corner and do that, why can't I just, people walk by, spit a freestyle and say, yo, check out the city. Wow. So then I got to the point where I joined a fraternity, right? And I started just meeting different people in the frat world. And one of the dudes I met, his dad had a car collection. And so I took one of his cars. Well, I didn't take it. He let me
borrow it, use it.
Pop the trunk. And just to try to give that real nostalgic old school hip hop feeling to people. So I had the trunk pop at the gas station, selling CDs. And so then that sped it up even more. So after doing all that, I was like, all right, how do I take this to the next level? My inspiration in all this was I'm looking at the Tech Nines of the world, Tech Nine and the Gucci's and the different artists that independently took their success and turned it into 10, 20, 30 $million empires. How do you do that? And it comes from owning your stuff and building around it, right? And so I pressed up a bunch of hats. I pressed up a bunch of stuff. And I was riding around all through Iowa, thinking that the whole state knew who I was because I was popping on campus. Of course, I can ride.
Don't you know who I am?
Of course, I can ride through the whole state and sell my merch. People are going to be excited to buy it from me. I wasn't selling any, and so I ended up in Carroll, Iowa, and I was just literally just riding through in my Buick. It was an old Buick I had in college, just riding through Iowa, trying to get them off, and I landed in Carroll and ended up meeting bootleggers. Honestly, I was at the bar, right? And I meet this lady. We're both I've had a real shit day. I haven't sold anything. I done blew all my gas. I'm riding around. She had a real shit day too. And she starts telling me stories about her family and how they used to run liquor for Al Capone and they used to, sneak alcohol into Alcatraz and shipments all over and I'm thinking it's just a lady talking crazy to me at the bar. Yo, she's like, I got something in the car you could try.
Oh, that escalated.
It's crazy, right? Get to the car. She's actually got it on a bottle, like the XXX, it's like Bugs Bunny or something. I think on some anyway. I try it. It's delicious. It tastes like vanilla nectar. You know what I'm saying? It's delicious. So long story short, I follow her to her people's house. Her, you know what I mean, and end up getting the full history lesson, going through the fields and going into different areas where allegedly might have been or might be operation of sort, and ended up investing a lot of that. The little cash that I had left. Keep in mind, I'm in college. It's not like I'm financially literate even at this time. I've got more money than I've ever had, and I've got a little bit left. What am I gonna do with this before I'm back at square one? You know what I mean? And invested into the liquor. And so then I released, and I did other things on the in between. I threw festivals and did all type of stuff. I started a label, signed artists, did the whole thing. But released the White Rye.
What is that?
White Rye was the recipe that I learned how to make from those moonshiners.
Okay, so you met her.
Yeah.
You sampled her drink.
Yeah.
You liked it.
Loved it.
Loved it. And then so you invested in a product, or how did you get into this partnership
So what I wanted
even
to
create
see,
it?
my thing was I knew as a creator, if I don't know how to create it myself, then I'm not actually in charge of it. So my thing was, let me pay you, teach me how to make that what I tasted. Teach me how to make that. Teach me how to work a still. Teach me how to, you know what I'm saying? Help me. And then on the back end of that, because through some other things, like how do I set this up legally? How do I in the in-between time get a bottling contract so I can take this product and take it over here so someone can put it in a bottle for me so I can sell it until I can afford to get a physical space? Like, how can I? And some of those things, of course, they didn't know because they were bootleggers, right? But
They're selling from their trunk.
but understanding like the main thing it was how to do it. Like, and so now I can make anything. Like the skill set in itself is so valuable. You know what I mean? And so
Wow, I think that's actually a really powerful message right there.
Yeah.
Being able, like you're very ambitious in a way that teach me how to do this, give me the recipe, and you just didn't sit on it. You didn't just take that recipe and make your family a little bit to try. You actually turned it into a business.
yeah.
Now let's go into that.
Yeah, so I put out the moonshine. It was called White Rye. It hit stores. It hit the first store it hit was Hy-Vee Fleur, actually, and then the second one was the Harding Hills Hy-Vee.
Those are huge chain stores.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. So it was interesting, like because each of those stores took like 10 cases and they sold out immediately.
Wow.
Right, and so that was just off.
I would like to sample. I would like to see a picture.
No, it's crazy. I could send you some. Like, what's crazy?
Yes.
So, like, Source Magazine caught wind of it because I was already kind of buzzing on the hip hop top. Source Magazine broadcasted it, and then that kind of started the momentum of it, right? And then there was a couple other little things, but from that I took that right there, the White Rye, aged 2 years, waited, and put my next album out on the next version of that, which was Burn the Boats. So Burn the Boats was the 2 years. It's White Rye if you age it for 2 years, literally. And so Burn the Boats was my album, and the only way that you could get it was by actually buying the bottle. So for the first week that it came out, there were codes on it. So you had to actually go to the store, scan the code, buy the bottle, and then you could hear the album, just to drive sales directly to the stores. And what was fly about that was Hy-Vee at that point, because I'd already been moving through the stores on some like an underground rapper, you know what I mean? Because that was my mentality, especially still at that point. And I was still, I'm gonna be independent. I'm underground. I'm gonna even move underground in the store chains. I'm gonna just do 10 cases here, 2 cases there. Hy-Vee caught wind and wanted to do the whole through every store in the nation.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we did multiple case orders of Burn the Boats in 8 states, about 450 stores with Hy-Vee. Shouts to Hy-Vee. We still do business to this day. I mean, they're still a major purchaser.
They're still carrying it.
Yeah, and so
if anyone wants to try it, they can actually go to Hy-Vee and get it.
And then on top of that, now we ship nationwide. So if you want it, no matter where you are, shop ZayedRye.com. And we'll ship it to you.
What was that again?
Shop Zayed Rye.
Okay.
Yep, and we'll get to your door in 2 business days. And so the success of that allowed me to partner with Come and Go to release Silk Road, which was my bourbon.
So before we go to Come and Go,
yeah.
The Hy-Vee process,
Sure.
Because just in case you're speaking to someone who's thinking, man, I have this amazing product, I want to get it into a chain store.
Yeah.
How's that process? How's the legalities and the meetings
Word.
and really
That's
getting into that?
That's a great question, because I did probably make it seem like that was a process. Not to mention, and a part of that process also inspired the next step that came after this, which was Center at 6. Like the first thing that I discovered with that was, all right, I'm selling 50, 60 cases a month. That's incredible. When a store chain like Hy-Vee wants to buy 2,000-3,000 cases or something, you have to be able to buy the bottles up front. You have to be able to buy the materials for that up front. I didn't have the money or the wherewithal or the financial literacy to know how to even approach a bank to properly say, I was still bootstrapping this. This was still out of pocket. I'm still dropping mixtapes, still doing music, doing shows to fund it. The process of learning how to properly bank, and then not only that, moving alcohol state to state selling alcohol state to state, you have to get different licenses for each one. There's different, it's like dealing with a different country every state. And so I had to deal with 7 new states in terms of actually 7 new distributors. Like the process of that took upwards of a year. Just figuring out how to fill that order, you know,
and so these companies were the ones telling you, hey, you need to do this and this, you need to do ABC, or you had to figure it out before you came to
see, that's what's interesting about alcohol is like it's not a market where there's like a ton of people in it. And so the cool thing is in the Iowa distilling community, there's a lot of help. And not only that, my co-packer was extremely knowledgeable on some of these things. I made a transition and started working with a co-packer that was able to handle multinational, almost global orders. And so it allowed me to upscale my growth a little bit smoother. And so with that, I was able to fill those orders and then start expanding, you know. And so like even now I'm getting ready to drop these cocktails. I've got these mixed cocktails coming in 2 different sizes, 1.75 milliliters and 375. Watermelon drip, lemon rush, berry bussin' tea.
Wow.
Yeah.
I am actually right now. I'm like, why am I drinking water? Why don't we have the samples here?
You know what's crazy? I never know when to bring liquor to places because then it's like I sometimes like it's 50-50. Like I bring it some place and people are like, yo, we don't do that here. Like, why are you doing that here? And then other places
it's Friday, you know. I mean, it's Saturday now.
Yeah. I definitely should. You know, we'll do a part 2, and it'll be all sampling. Just literally a sampling, like
actual reaction to the taste.
Yeah. That'll be fly. But no, like that. I mean, that process in itself was showed me how difficult it is, especially. When you don't have access to those things, as many Black and brown people don't have access to that wealth of knowledge on how to even approach and how to even do all that. It inspired me so I was looking for space for a distillery. I was just, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, I'm about ready to start doing my own thing.
Producing.
Like, I'm ready to expand, do a tasting room, do experimentals. 6th Avenue corridor was a place that was always on my heart. It was always something where I knew I wanted to be and just wanted to find the right opportunity to get there. And just so happened it was miraculous, right? Where like a huge piece of land came available. And so in the process of all that, thinking like, but wouldn't it be great if I could make that process for other people trying to get in easier? Like what if I could introduce you to the bank that I talked to? This was my initial thoughts. Like, what if I could just introduce you to the banks that I talked to? What if I could properly introduce you to the right people at Hy-Vee? What if I can show you the right accountants? What if I can show you the right way to just set this up in a way that you can succeed? And so it sparked the idea for Center at 6, and which is now turned into the concept of being a Black and brown business incubator, you know, supporting and providing that retail space to even test launch product, you know, providing booths and session stands for artists and vendors and food vendors. And we're talking about 12,000 square foot of retail space, a tasting room on the end, a coffee shop, a restaurant, and the retail space, as well as 30 plus apartments on top, a three level project, just to be able to provide that live work combined atmosphere, right? And so the budget for the project is $10 million. We're currently, we've 1.8 million pledged from the city, another $500,000 pledged from the county, and still building out the capital stack. And but that seed of like, because what's funny, and it's not even funny, because what's interesting is when you get a product order that big, your first thought is, I'm about to make so much money. Right. But not knowing there were so many nights of like, not only am I not going to be able to make that money, me saying yes and not being able to do it could collapse my company. It could end it. I'm gonna have to go drop like several mixtapes to get back right now. You know what I mean? Like, and
how do I get the initial capital?
How do I do that
to get it started?
And you don't want to burn bridges or mess up relationships or, show that you're incompetent in any way. You know what I mean? And so that all of that and the emotion and the up and down roller coaster of that, it showed me like, and it inspired me to like, let me help others get through this. Let me help others And even on that path, on the before I figured it out, being able to have conversations with people like Pernell Caesar at Black and Bold, like being able to ping off of that, and then saying, you know what, I'm able to call Pernell and ask him just random, dumb, stupid ass questions, or call him up and sit down and have coffee with him. Like, yo, how did you navigate when you did that? How did you? Because I'm at the same place that you're. You know what I mean? Like.
Right.
And just even thinking about that, like, wow, that peer to peer. What if I could talk to, you know what I mean? What if we just continued that even? And so the concept of Center at 6 came, and even naming it Center at 6. Center Street in Des Moines was like Des Moines' Black Wall Street. It was a street of all Black and brown businesses, and they built KOA through it. And so those businesses all vanished. They all went away as a result of that. And so a part of me calling it Center at 6th is reclaiming that energy that was lost and bringing the community together and providing that opportunity to once again thrive. And
so who's behind the Center at 6? Is it you?
Yeah. So I'm the...
Oh, so you are establishing something.
Yeah. So I'm the lead developer behind it. We anticipate doors will open summer 2024. I definitely work with Jake Christensen, Susan Fitzsimmons. There's a whole team of people. Newman Munson as the architects. There's a whole team of people, but definitely excited about being able to provide a live work opportunity for a community that many would, however people would label the 6th Avenue corridor, like being able to see, 6th Avenue is the most diverse street, the most diverse corridor in the state of Iowa. The most languages, the most people, the most diversity in national, international presence is on that corridor in the entire state. And so being able to put something like that there, put my tasting room there, put a high-end experience for that community, while at the same time we didn't have to move anyone out to do this project. Like, it's a big open piece of land.
So you're building from scratch?
Building from scratch. And so this isn't a gentrification project. This is literally something that adds to the community, and it was important for me to put especially a tasting room presence on that site, because I know that's the community that supported me first before I was in the Source magazine or Eater, or before I had any type of media relationships to even properly do or maneuver that. That community was, going to Javi's and asking, why isn't this on shelves? Why can't I get that? And forcing those store managers to support. And so the spark is there in that community. It's just, I'm happy to be able to be blessed to put that up. Yeah.
What's really fascinating me about your journey so far, which I'm going to still dive into it more, is the fact that you have taken your own journey and the things that you keep experiencing as you're going. Right now you're in the liquor business, but before the liquor business, you're using your creativity, you're using art, you're creating music and really hustling to sell these CDs, to be able to afford to fund it. And then so once that's happening, now you're in that moment where you can expand even bigger. But instead of just expanding bigger and being this liquor mogul, you're actually going back to your community, and you have this vision of creating a space where people can come in and grow together.
Exactly.
That is very powerful. And I just want to hear a little bit more about your vision about this space and the center and the services it can provide. That is just very amazing.
Yeah, and it's still it's still a work in progress. You know what I mean? We're still working to make sure that it will fit the needs of the community. So the way that I envision it, and so imagine a business. Let's say you produce pins. Let's say you're a pin company, and you make these really fly custom pins, but you just don't know how to take it to that next level. You don't know how to turn it into a business. You come in, so what we do is we partner with Evelyn K. Davis Center. Yep. We've partnered with the Directors Council, who will be, has some options that'll be lending options down the line as well. What we're looking at is, let's say you're that pin company. You can come in, you can get the proper business training through EKD. You can get the startup loan to be able to fund a 50 pin run of the pen. You can test launch your pen on a shelf space in Center at Sixth around other entrepreneurs who are also test launching their products, who are and as well as being anchored by successful businesses that are already thriving, who are already pulling crowds, who are already creating an atmosphere, partnered with a live musician playing in the corner, partnered with 3 food booths in the back. What you're creating is it's like a breeding ground for new ideas and discovery. You know, you're creating a space where a consumer would want to say, yo, I know that there's something new at Center at Sixth every week. I know there's a new, rare, one-of-a-kind product there every week. And so for that pen owner that started out with that 50 pens that they test launched, they sell out at her opening night. Well, now she can do another 200 run. Well, now the pens are selling. Well, maybe now we introduce her to Hy-Vee. Maybe now we introduce her to Office Max. Maybe now we, introduce her to a conventional banking interface so that she can really upscale that. Maybe it's a full production line for pens. We ideally, and this is my vision, and being able to guide a business from seed literally to tree, to fruitful tree, to the point where that business can stand on its own and support more. And we grow that out. And if we continue doing that, it'll be a pendulum effect.
Wow. My mind is just blowing like this inside because I don't think we talk about entrepreneurship enough.
Yes.
Because we're in a society where we get to a point where we're talking about we don't have enough employment, we don't have enough jobs, because we're all in the mindset of I need to go to school, graduate, get employed. But the people that are employing us, they're the entrepreneurs. They started something so they can give us a job. So I love your vision because you're encouraging people to be those employers, to create those job opportunities for people in the future.
No, exactly. Changing the base of how we process things and how we address poverty. I think we need to address it from an economic level at this point. Like a real, let's teach people how to generate money for themselves. Yeah, teach people how to fish.
Wow.
Teach people how to fish. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more because we've always been in this mindset of let me help you, buy food for this month.
Yeah.
But how about let me help you how to make money so you can buy food for the next 6 months.
Yeah. So you make money to go on a trip, put your kid through college, and invest in some real estate, like how to really position you and your family for comfort, you know what I mean? And safety, and that I feel like that's when you look at a lot of the elements that plague our community. I think you infuse a economic mindset, a lot of those things start to erode. So
I'm very passionate when it comes to nonprofits that are geared towards improving the community overall, improving the livelihood of people. I think that would be a great addition to our state. All the best luck to you in whatever you're doing, because hey, we need more people just checking in and getting the good work done.
Yeah, no, genuinely, thank you.
So for someone who's watching you today and they're truly inspired by your journey or any part of your message today, what kind of advice would you have for such a person or even for just anyone else?
I think my main advice would be to anything that you start, if you're passionate about it and you've thoroughly researched it, stay at it. We talked today, maybe less than an hour, but it's like, this process, this was a 12, 13, 14 year process. This wasn't an overnight thing. You have to be willing to put in that work, and believe in yourself. I mean, I know that's a corny thing to say, but nobody else is going to believe in you the way that you will. And not to make it dark, but you have to believe in yourself feverishly. You have to take yourself more seriously than anyone. When I got back to my frat house and I was talking about, man, I'm about to drop a liquor line. I don't know how to make moonshine now. You know how crazy people looked at me? But I knew. You know what I'm saying? The same. You have to know it, and you have to really believe it for real, like fervently, almost like to a level of lunacy. So that's my advice. Be a lunatic about what you believe in and stand on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great advice. And you're a living example and living proof of that message because you really did believe
I ain't there yet. So hey, but I'm not there yet. But nah, I mean, thank you. No, I think there's others that have come before me that I think, that's the blessing about where we are right now is there's people that I can watch and say, oh, I know how to do that. I know how to do that. You can literally, and so I definitely I'm definitely appreciative of those who come before me. So yeah.
Wow. And before I give you an opportunity to talk to your audience and let them know how they can get a hold of you, there's just one tiny little thing missing, and that's the drive behind your journey. Why art? Why entrepreneurship? Why community engagement? They're
all the same thing. It's the same type of energy. It's creation. It's good energy mixed with creation. You're creating wealth so that you can keep your family safe, keep your family happy, keep the people that you care about happy. You're investing in the community because those are people that you care about. When your community's healthy, then you'll be healthy. You'll naturally, when you're trying to improve yourself, if you're really naturally trying to do that, it will naturally benefit the people around you. If you're really going about it the right way. And so for me, I'm just really just taking the things that I care about and connecting them, and making sure that I want everyone. What type of world do you want to live in if you're the only one who's balling? Like, I don't want to be the only one. Like, I want us all, like, let's all go out of country. Let's all go have a drink. Let's all get a good bottle of whiskey. Let's all get some rare vinyl and bump it, have a party. I don't want to be alone in a castle. Like, let's all live good, and let's all be free and be creative. You know what I mean? And all those things go hand in hand. Like, I'm always be an artist, and as an artist, I'm always be an entrepreneur. And as an entrepreneur and an artist, I'm always gonna care about the people that I'm selling my products to, or the people that it's natural. It's like symbiotic. It goes together. So yeah.
I love it. There's a saying that says, a rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah. See, you're able to say things in a way that's not like ranting. Like, I do like a, you got the,
I got my ranting moments.
Yeah. No, dope.
Well, with that, so if anybody would be interested to sample that, which I still need to sample it, by the way.
I got you.
Okay, perfect. I will find you.
I'm going to flood y'all with liquor, trust me.
Yes. And I'd like to sample your music too. Like,
I'm going to buy you liquor, and then I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to buy it. I'm not going to flood you with liquor.
Okay, so he will buy it.
Yeah.
I will sample it, and I will report on the quality.
Yes. Yeah. Got to keep the... ABD, I love y'all.
And then also your music. It would be nice to hear just a little bit. Since I'm
gonna play you some of this new stuff I got. See, the thing is like, I'm gonna play some of this new stuff. I can't wait to. We gonna have to sit down again. We
have to do part 2.
Got to.
When that community center opens, I need to be there. I want to see it.
Oh, well, we got a part 3 planned too. Then we'll do it.
The launch.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, I'm holding you accountable to all this.
You should. It's gonna be fly. It's gonna be real dope. Yeah.
So, if anybody is interested in either of your products, music, or anything that you've mentioned today in our segment, how would they get a hold of you?
Of course, you could stream all the music, but for sure, if you go to your local grocery store and request Burn the Boats whiskey or Silk Road bourbon, and they'll be able to supply it for you. If not, or let's say you're somewhere obscure where there's no grocery stores, or Alaska, and we've had situations like that where there's the closest grocery store is 6 hours away. We also ship nationwide, so you can go to shopZyadRye.com. That's shopZyadRye.com. We're all over social media, Zyad Rye. You can. We're everywhere. If you have a question, you can call me. We'll be doing tastings all over. You can catch me at a Hy-Vee or Fairway or come and go definitely all this fall and winter, sampling out and letting y'all taste this new juice. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today on the show. Thank you for walking us through your journey and the things that you're doing. I'm very fascinated when I see young people getting themselves into spaces that are not, we haven't seen, young people in those spaces before. And you're definitely one of those people. And I think, for all the young people watching your story today, it's encouraging someone, especially, just thinking about getting your product into a huge chain store.
Yeah.
That is scary. That is just scary. You're thinking, who do I need to talk? Who do I need to know to do this? So just seeing that you have been able to, be able to do that, that's very encouraging.
Thank you.
And by you just sharing your story, I'm very looking forward to, seeing this vision of yours and this community engagement come into fruition, because I can see how the community can benefit from that.
Thank you.
And everybody who's watching back home, I hope this message spoke to you or someone that you know. And if so, please don't be afraid to share this message. This is really the reason why we bring stories like this to you, sharing real life stories with real life people. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, I don't know what you're still waiting for. Run over to YouTube and subscribe to the most inspirational network in town. And if you want to learn more about everything that we do, go over to withtrudy.com and you can learn more about our Conversational Lounge Media. Until next time, have a wonderful day.